Assalamu alaikum. Malam ta.
Wa alaikum salam.
Good morning.
Ina kwana sa tashi lafiya.
Lafiya lau ya gajiya.
Alhamdulillah sir, alhamdulillah. Na kamar ni da kai ne kawai.
San mutanen namu ne.
Wallahi tunanin da nake yi ma kenan mutanen namu.
Sai da wai.
Wallahi kai. Wallahi sauka Allah ya taimake mu kuma.
Amin amin. Sai a ji wani abin da ba za a iya ba.
Wallahi sosai kuwa. Tun ka san ba za ka iya ba kuma ka je ka yi jini ka sa. You
have more than 150 registered participants.
Yau, ni ma abun da yake bani mamaki kenan da na gano ba kuma da na ga mutanen da ke participating kuma wallahi baya taliyin kwata-kwata.
Ma the same thing, the first cohort din da aka yi shi ma the same thing haka aka yi. Gaba ɗaya masu attending class ba sa wuce 10, 7, 15 haka. Kuma sai a zo a cika.
Wato mutanen nan quick money kawai muke so wallahi.
Kowa yana son abin da zai samu kuɗi ne.
Yes, da ya shiga nan da nan da ya ba shi kuɗi shi ke nan kawai.
I think wannan ma ya kamata, maybe yanzu ya kamata a ajiye maganar training ne a fara canza mutane orientation first.
Yes,
ya ka gama canza orientation sai daga baya sai a dawo a fara classes din bayan mutane sun san me suke.
Gaskiya ba, abin da ya kamata kenan. Amma dai gashi bari na ƙara ba su kuɗa 5 minutes ne mu gani ko.
Okay. Dama da yake yau dama conclusion ne. Already we've even covered the basic things. Here just minor things. So dama ya kamata ya kasance next week. Maybe that should go intermediate class ne to I'm not even sure if you can go to the intermediate class when it has to do with the Microsoft packages.
Okay.
The thing is actually deteriorating more.
Gaskiya.
Well, let's see, we are going to discuss with the co-facilitator and see what will be. Madam, we are going to discuss with the co-facilitator and see what will be the better way.
Okay. That would be good. Gaskiya.
Inshallah.
Allah ya ciyar da mu. Har yanzu fa, kuma na kaman kai magana a group.
Magana gashi kuma yana sun yi view.
Kuma wallahi ka sa notice da safe da wuri ka sa notice din nan.
So a yi a tashi. Certificate din suke bukata.
Shi ne kawai wallahi, shi ne kawai.
I think let's just have a review of what we just did in the record session. So anybody that's interested can go to the record session.
Okay.
I think we discussed Bismillah. I think we discussed majorly the following based on. Okay, sorry, let me bring your Okay. So I think on the orientation day, we discussed on the following key things, which are as follows. Bansaniba, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen. Career intake.
Yeah, career intake. We looked at the roadmap for the beginners. Yes. Not only that, we did the introductory aspects where we discussed about the program, about the BDE program, our previous achievements, about the roadmap for the beginners, word of encouragement, introduction to your tutors, question and answer we did, and closing remark. That was a week before we commenced the recorded session of the class. And I think we look at how the roadmap is going to be carried out, where we look at things that has to do with we see that the roadmap is for absolute beginners and it shall covers the following. and the program is reliable because it has already been tested, and it is original. All our content are original. Actually, it's been originally sourced, and it's comprehensive. It is gradual. Then it is current. Actually, most of what we are doing, what we are displaying, is the current technologies. Then it is easy to comprehend. Actually, our hope is to take all the participants gradually, bit by bit, so that they take it from the easy, from an easy point. So this was what we did, and then we now look at the roadmap, where we look at the basics of computer, and under it we look at some outlines beneath, which comprises of introduction to computer, which we did with the definition and so on. We looked at hardware and software, which we as well look at the system and application software, and we look at their classifications. We look at input and output units as a subdivision of the hardware. And we also look at what we are ought to look at today is how to on and off the computer, how to create a user account and password, how to create a folder, how to copy, cut and paste, how to delete and recover files, and how to format a system. Then lastly, we ought to look at how to install the new operating system. I believe the most bogus aspect of the course has already been covered, which we have covered the introductory aspect, which is the main basic aspect of the computer. At least anyone that has joined the class will be able to give a better explanation on what computer is, what it comprises of, what type of software is this, the usability of a computer, the functionality, and as well the generation of the computer and what differentiates one generation to the other. And we also have a little discussion on the AI, the artificial intelligence, which is the generation we are now, the 5th generation. And I think we looked at some examples of some as well. We look at some components of the motherboard, which is this, and the system keys. That is what is combined, what makes up the motherboard of the computer. I believe we are able to complete all this in our previous class. Meanwhile, today we are expected to look at how to turn on the computer and turn off the computer. The ethical way of turning on and turning off your computer is very, very easy. While turning on the computer, what is expected of you is to press the power button. I actually don't. Okay, before you go down to the class, let's see the other recap. Sorry for that. We are supposed to look at the intermediate level. We are supposed to look at the Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel. These are the intermediate class that we are supposed to move on for whosoever attended the basic class. Then under it, we ought to look at introduction to the Microsoft Word. We ought to look at the introduction to keyboard, the menu bar, the keyboard shortcuts from A to Z, practical use of keyboard shortcuts, how to customize the text, how to create formal letters, how to design a letterhead. And under that, again, under the Microsoft PowerPoint, we are ought to look at what the PowerPoint entails, creating a slide and customizing and animating a slide. Then under the Microsoft Excel, we are supposed to look at what contain for the beginners is also and the intermediate as well. Okay, for the Microsoft Excel it combines both the beginners, the intermediate and advanced, but someone has to have the beginner's knowledge before he or she is going to be promoted to the intermediate level. The course contains the introduction to the Excel, the interface, the workbook sheet, the column, rows, width, heights, the grid lines, tables, menu bar, how to create a table border, serial number, similar arithmetics, percentage, average rank, and so on. So that is for the beginner, and for the advanced, they're supposed to move to the aspect of data analysis, the Power BI, the SQL, the Tableau, and SPSS as well as part of the software to be used for the data analysis. And after that, I think some are going to be classified to go on software development, and some are supposed to be going for graphic design, and some are supposed to go for web design, which contains the HTML, web development, which contains the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And we also look at the PHP, SQL as part of the programming languages to be used, actually. Then we're supposed to as well look at the content management system, which is the CMS, for those who are going to be using some of the web applications, how to create a CMS or how to customize a CMS. Then some are supposed to go for digital marketing, and some are supposed to go for video animation, and that was what the course supposed to entail from the beginning to the advance as the course is being scheduled. So what career path are you going to follow? It depends on your interest and your passion. So that is why the course was built to take you from the beginning aspect to the advanced aspect. And had it been our people actually utilize this time to actually build themselves and get themselves acquainted with this course, it is something that somebody can be productive actually within just a short range of the time. But as we have it, we just have to manage it just like we have. So I think that was the roadmap that we ought to follow. And after that, then I think we are going to just have a conclusion for today's class. Let's just look at the basic things. Sorry, are you saying something, Mukhtar? Someone is saying, I think somebody is speaking on the background. Ahmed Umar Yeru. Okay. Okay, so these are the things that we are supposed to cover in the course of this training. So now I think let's look at the basic things that ought to be done, which is how to on and off the computer. On in the computer, when you look at the computer, a computer has it actually has what we know as the power button. The power button for every computer, for many computers, are actually situated in different positions. Some are together with the keyboard, while some are attached to the system case. So it depends on how your computer comes with, and some are as well located beneath. Like for example, most of the Samsung system or computers. So apart from that, so whenever you want to on your computer, what are the ethical way of owning your computer is to press the power button and wait for the computer to boot. So when the computer boots up, so you're expected to wait for as we said, the system software, that is the operating system, to finish processing. And after it finished processing, then it's going to bring you down to your desktop view, which this is an example of the desktop view I'm going to be sharing right now. So I'm going to be sharing my desktop view now. I think I'm going to be sharing my desktop view. So this is actually, sorry, can you see my screen? Hello, can you see my screen?
It's booting.
Okay.
Still.
Okay. Let's wait.
Okay.
So can you see my screen?
Yes. You can see it.
Perfect. So
yes, we can.
Okay, this is the desktop view of a computer. And as I say that whenever you want to switch off your computer, as I say that, as we explained earlier, every computer has its own interface, and some of the windows as well. For most of us that are using Windows, maybe Windows XP, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, their user interface it also differs. You see that most of the Windows 7, I think it also has its own start menu over this side where you are seeing my cursor. It also has it. But for Windows 8, they have their own um, option or start menu by dragging the side of the screen. So it depends on actually the computer you are having. It depends on the computer, the type of computer you're using, or let me say the type of operating system you're using. And when you're using the Mac, also those that are using Apple, it also has a different location for locating the power button. So for example, myself, my computer here, I'm using Windows 10. So when you want to switch off your computer, the ethical way to do that, the proper way is to come to the start menu. After coming to the start menu, you click it. After you click it, you can see something over here, power. So when you come to the power, so you could press the power. Then after pressing the power, you could go to shut down. Immediately you press the shutdown is going to shut down your computer, is going to off your computer. That is the ethical way of actually of switching off your computer actually. But there are those that uses the command prompt to do that and some other ways, but I think that's not the proper way. The proper way is to do that. But even when you do that, it's even better than using the than just clear that than just long pressing the power button, which is an unethical way to shut down your computer. So this is one of the way to shut down your computer, or the most proper way to shut down your computer. So now after that, okay, for those who wants to use the shortcut to switch off your computer, you could press on, if you look at your keyboard, there is control key. When you press control, you hold it, you press on ALT, the alt, then you press delete. When you press delete, it's going to bring you out here. Then you can also switch off your computer through this way. So that is another way to switch off your computer. I believe you also saw my screen how it's prompted out. Hello, can you all hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we're hearing.
Okay, that's great. So that's another way to switch off the computer actually. So now I think we are now going to look at the next thing is how to create a file. How do you create a file on a computer? The easiest way of creating a file is by right-clicking on your screen. Let's assume this side there is nothing. So you could right-click on the screen here, then you go to new. When you go to new, then you go to folder. So this is how you create a folder. Immediately you press the folder, is going to create a folder over here. Once it creates a folder over here, can you see my folder here? I can drag it by long pressing on my by having a long press on my mouse using the right key. Sorry, let me use by left clicking. Sorry, by dragging it with the left click. So this is the new folder I open. So if you want to edit the name of the folder, you can always right click on your mouse to see options that are available for anything you're doing. So you can come here and rename and press on rename. You can see rename here. So you press on rename, or anything I want to rename my file with, I can press. Let's assume I want to name it as BDE, Basic Digital Education Class. So immediately I am done with this, I can just press enter, or I click outside the box, so it has changed the name of the folder. And another way is to click twice, but not double click at the same time. You click 1 second, then leave 1 second, half second again, and you click. So it's going to give you opportunity to rename again. Maybe let's say I want to name it class 2. So I've named it to class 2, then I press enter, and it has saved it. So this is how to create a folder, and this is how to open a folder. You double click, you double click, or you double click using your left click. So it's going to bring you here. So when it brings you here, you have, this folder is actually empty. This folder is actually empty, and okay, this, as I said, this folder is actually empty. But if you wish to create any folder inside a folder again, you can as well. Sorry, it's like someone is making a noise underneath. Please, you can mute yourself, please. So if you want to create another folder inside a folder, you can as well, the same procedure. You right click, then you go to new, and you select folder. So when you select it, for example, we had the introductory part of this class, so you can press introduction. So this was the one, you press enter, so it's going to name a file like this. So that means you have started saving a file inside another file. So you can always open the file and as well save in another file, and so on. So this is basically how to create a file. Then the next thing is, how do you delete a file or a folder? How do you delete a folder? Sorry, I'm trying to locate one thing. Okay, right. Okay, I think the next thing is how to create a folder and how to copy and paste. So another thing is how to copy and paste. When you want to copy something, let's assume I want to copy something from my desktop. I want to copy something from my desktop. So how am I going to do? The best way to do is what? Is to go to that file I want to copy. Let's assume I want to copy the name of this file, PDF file, is certificate result. I want to copy the file, then I will come to my desktop. After coming to my desktop, then I click it once, that I'm going to left click it, then I'm going to what again? Then I'm going to right click on it, then go to the copy option, then press copy. There are shortcuts for actually doing all these things. I think I'm going to share the shortcuts for doing all these things we're doing to the group for data assimilation. So immediately now the RAM, as I said, stated the function of the RAM has already captured what I did, so it is now saved on the RAM. So the RAM is expecting me to go and save it where it's needed. So where am I supposed to go now? So I will now go to my folder, which I minimize. These are minimized folder. This is the file explorer. So all the folders you open are going to be viewed here, are going to minimize. So I will go to BDE class 2, then click on it. After clicking on it, then I'm going to go on paste. Then I'm going to type what? Paste. So immediately I paste it. So you see the certificate result is here. So this is way of copying and pasting. So anywhere you want to paste anything, you just go to where that folder is, press the copy and paste, and go to the folder or any place you want to save your file. Then you press on save on that. Then another way of deleting, another way is how do you delete? How to delete a folder is very, very simple. On your keyboard, you have the delete. You can click on what, let's assume I want to delete this result, this certificate result. So this certificate result, then I want to delete it, sorry. Okay, yeah. So I want to delete it. So I will just, I will right click. Then after I right click, then I press on delete. When I delete, it's going to delete, or I can as well press delete key on my keyboard. So when I delete it now, you see it's going to be deleted and there is nothing over there. So this is how to create, how to delete, how to copy, and how to paste a folder or a file, the same thing. So now this file that I deleted, how do I recover it? Let's assume I've already deleted something and I want to recover it. So if I want to recover a file, so it's as well very, very easy. In my desktop, there is what we know as the recycle bin. The recycle bin functions to retrieve a file in which, or a document or anything you delete from your computer or from the activity you are doing on your computer. So how do I go to that? Is I move to, let me share my screen as well. Okay, then what I do is I go to recycle bin. When I go to my desktop, mostly it is found in the desktop. Let me minimize this. Then I search for recycle bin. This is my own recycle bin here, as you can see. This is recycle bin. You can see it here. I have moved it over here for better visualization. So what I do is so I will double click on it. When I double click on it, all what I have deleted are saved here for recovery. So these are all things I deleted actually. So when I want to search for that file, the file is definitely here. Let me see what the name of the file I deleted was. I think the name of the file I deleted was, oh, I think sorry, certificate result. Yeah. So I deleted certificate result. I can come here in my recycle bin and search for certificate result. You see this is certificate results. So when you come here, I can retrieve it back. You see, I will right click on it. Sorry, I'm going to right click on my mouse and go to restore. Immediately I type restore, you see that the file is going to escape from the recycle bin, just like the dustbin. Then it's going to be, when I go back to the BDE class, you are going to see it inside the BDE class, which is here, it is retrieved. So this is actually how to delete, how to recover a file that you deleted. But once you delete something from your computer, it's going to actually miss. When you delete a file from your recycle bin, you've missed it at all. You are going to miss it, except you use some other extensive or advanced software for recovery. I think, and that was explained in our previous cohort on some of the softwares you can use to recover your files. Maybe after your hard disk got crashed, or maybe your Windows got crashed or so. And something very importantly is when you miss your Windows, or your Windows expire, or something transpired and your Windows is attacked, your files are still saved. Your system application are still saved. Software applications are safe. It is something you can recover back. So whenever your computer, they tell you that the computer is your Windows has crashed, you can ask them that you want to recover your files and your files are saved there. Mostly it is the Windows that is being affected, and some of the viruses that affect computer. So most of the viruses, they affect the operating system. They affect the operating system. So the operating system, when it is newly installed, another one when it is installed, it can easily be actually your documents or your files can easily be retrieved back. So that is how to do that. And next thing is, for example, I want to format my computer. How do you format a computer? Actually, formatting a computer is something that is very, very skeptical, and someone needs to be very, very careful when formatting his or her computer, because you can easily damage your computer. But there are ways in which you can format. There are three types of format. There is system format, and there is system format, and there are other disk or flash or some other input device format. So for example, now I have a flash here with me. I have a flash with me here, for example, a flash. For example, this is a flash. So I want to format what is inside this flash. So what am I going to do is immediately I put it into the computer, it will show me a prompt way in which I can be able to format this flash. So how do I format flash, or how do I format memory, or how do I format things inside my cell phone or my smartphone? So immediately you connect your external disk or your external storage device into your computer. For example, let's see if I impute this one into the USB port, as we all did yesterday. Let me share my screen and you see how it's going to. So, and you see how it's going to prompt out. So, right. So now immediately I impute this flash into the computer. You see that it's going to make a sound, meaning that something has been imputed. So I will come down to this PC. You see this PC here? So you see it's loading. These are all the things that are saved here. As you can see, it's prompted me that select what to do with this disk. So this is the disk USB drive here. So what do I do is I click on it. If I want to format it, I click on it and I just go to format. You see that it's going to tell me to format everything. Yes, then I click on what? Start. Immediately I start, it's going to prompt me that formatting will erase all data on this disk. To format this disk, click on OK. So I'm going to click on OK. So immediately I click on OK. Just notice this. You see that this is before we have used about some space. You see now it is now everything is format complete. So when you do this, you have completed the format of your disk. So you can see everything is now empty. So this is actually how to format your external devices or your input devices you put or any other thing connected to the computer. And I think, as I stated, there are procedures on how to there are procedures on how to install an operating system, that is a Windows or a Mac or a Macintosh or anything, on how to put an operating system on your computer, how to install an operating system. I think this has to do with something that I'll have to use another screen, then maybe project to my screen so that you see the procedural ways in which you could install a new operating system to your computer. You can change your operating system maybe from Windows 7 to Windows 8 to Windows from Windows 7 to Windows 8 to Windows 10 or to Windows 11. It's something you can do yourself. but it's just that you have to be a little bit careful so that you don't cause some damages or you don't make your computer to malfunction. That is why it is always better to get somebody who is good in that area or who is expert in that area, or somebody who is versed in that area to do that for you or under the guide of someone. So when you do that, it's going to automatically change your operating system. And something very important is when you change your operating system is you will have to reinstall the application software that you already installed previously on your previous operating system. So, but if it's upgrading, you're upgrading maybe from one operating system to the other, so you don't need to install the operating system. It's just issue of upgrading. So maybe you can do that by owning your data. So you do that online. It also works, despite it consumes data very, very much, and it's very, very it's something that will take and consume time and to have to start. So I think I'm also going to, for those are in the class, I think I'm going to share to you. Please, you can talk to me on our platform, so I could share to you the link of the video on how to install your operating system, the one we did last time, which is a bit time consuming. And I think this is all we have. This is all we have and supposed to do during this class. So I think with this, we've covered the basic aspect of this course, and today we've completed the basic aspect. So if there's any question, contributions, or anything, the floor is open. Despite I think we have a fewer minutes, we only have less than 2 minutes to go. Okay, we have less than 2 minutes. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Da Allah, ina da question.
Me tambayi.
Yawa, for example, yanzu idan ina da folders da yawa, kuma ina son in yi selecting wasu a cikin folders ɗin na in yi deleting. So ta ya zan yi selecting? Ba wai in yi copying duka ba. Saboda akwai wasu da, so ta ya zan yi selecting?
Okay, in zaki selecting, let me just share my screen and you see how I'm going to do that. For example, this is my screen. Yanzu akwai folders da yawa a cikin, let's assume documents. You can see 19 hospitals. Kinga yanzu idan na clicking din shi kadai ne clicking ko? Ba sai na dinga deleting one by one ba. So I will press on the control key. Zaki danna control akan keyboard ɗinki. So sai ki ta clicking. Kinga na clicking wannan shi ma, sorry, my computer is a bit slow. So in a clicking, sorry, files in the skin and they're a bit heavy.
Okay.
So, but let me just go to this file which is not heavy. So for example, here I have this file. So kinga na click na danna control, na rike control dina. So zai click.
Idan mutum ya rike control.
Yeah.
Just sai ya daddanna abubuwan da yake so.
Yeah.
Na gane.
So gashi nan kinga. Yanzu zai ga wannan
na gane.
Sorry, I'm running some software, CSI yake slow. So kinga I can. So at the end, you can just press on delete, or anything. If you want to cut them, if you want to copy them, shima the same thing, everything. So this is how. So haka zaki.
Okay, da Allah. Ɗayan question ɗin na kuma.
Na'am.
Da Allah me yake kawo virus a computer system?
Okay, akwai abubuwa da dama da suke kawo virus a computer. I think maybe we have less than 1 minute. Maybe let me resend a link so that we just have a conclusive part of the class. So see me tambayoyi da other things, inshallah. I'll send the link so you
Thank you.
Ni ma ina da tambayoyi.
Oh, ba matsala, Allah sa yin sawa.